But
yeah, where's Ruben?
yeah, this is the one. It says, "Do you support genocide?" I do indeed. Of what race? You know me, Mexican. God Almighty, unreal. Um. Oh, we're live on YouTube. Hi, everybody. We'll be going
Hi,
on
everybody.
air. We will be on air in a minute, about a minute. Wow. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
explain what you're doing before you read anymore.
Oh, with the radio.
Well, no, because you're reading.
Oh, I was reading the Tay AI experiment that Microsoft put out, and how trolls turned it into a bloodthirsty racist within a day. So I was just reading some of his tweets to Danielle. I wasn't saying that.
Those awful.
I wasn't saying
things.
Mexicans should be, wiped out by genocide. That was Tay AI. Man, it's 7 o'clock on the dot. We're going to be right on time.
Wow.
Think. It's 7 o'clock on the dot for a change. What do you think of that, Danielle?
I'm pretty excited.
Setting up, getting the show going on time. So this is Tech Talk for March, 29th?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm your host, Alex Zandermack. Take your pick. I have Danielle in the Hangout with me. Hi, Danny.
Hello.
How are you? How was your week?
It was really good.
You went on a little outing this week, didn't you?
I had an adventure.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I went to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to see the women's NCAA basketball Sweet 16 and Great 8. No, Elite 8. Regional.
Oh, did you see the men's Elite 8?
No, I saw the women's.
Okay, never mind. I thought, okay. Which is good. Sorry, I got excited there for a minute. I was going to say, wait, is...
Alex, why did I go to the game?
I'm thinking, is East Dakota even in the Elite 8?
Alex,
I know you went to see. Of course, you went to see Drea, but
right.
I'm thinking maybe you caught the men's game while you were there. Sorry, my bad.
No. They don't play together.
No, obviously they don't play together. I'm saying you may have seen it. Whatever. We got really. Anyway, how was the game?
It was good. The Sweet 16 game was better than the Elite 8 game.
Was Drea playing?
Yes. She plays, as you know, for the University of Tennessee. And they won their Sweet 16 game, which allowed them to advance to the Elite 8.
Right.
And then they lost in the Elite 8. Drea broke her PP in the Sweet 16 game.
She broke her PP?
Pinky.
Oh, I was going to say, it must be kind of difficult for Drea to break her PP.
That's gross.
Oh.
No,
she play well though? Did she score a lot of points?
She did play well in the Sweet 16. She fought pretty hard in the Elite 8, but she was limited because she looked like a lobster like this. So
let me. I'm gonna mess with some settings here because I'm getting a lot of loop back or something.
Yeah, I'm echoing in my ears. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I think I may have just fixed it.
I think you did. Thank you so much.
Okay. So yeah, you went to East Dakota. You watched some basketball.
Yes, that was fun. About a 6-hour drive. That was super fun. So I left Thursday, got there Thursday night. The game was Friday, and then the other game was Sunday, and then I came back here Sunday night. So that was super fun. It was really fun because it snowed while we were there. So all these little Tennessee kids got to see some actual snow.
Right.
So that was fun. And then I just stayed in my hotel room and worked, so I didn't have to go out in the snow. So that was fun.
Yeah, no kidding. Of course, it means you didn't get to do a great deal of research or anything for the show, and neither did I because I've been swamped at work. But we have a number of things to talk about this evening. I guess yeah, let's start with this little elephant in the room.
Let's do that. Yes. I'm
So
very excited to talk about this.
yeah, so I have an Apple Watch, obviously. I think most people know this. And I've wanted a nice stainless steel band or bracelet, as they're called, for it for a while. And Apple make one. They call it the Link bracelet. And it's $450 for this bracelet. So I ordered one. I found a knockoff, a Chinese copy or a replica of it, I guess, on Amazon for $43. So I ordered the knockoff, and it came on Monday. And I put it on the watch, and I thought, I like this. It's not bad. Then I got to thinking, if I like this, I'll love the real one, right? I'm really gonna love the genuine one. So on the way home from work that night, I stopped at the Apple store and I picked up the real one. It's the box is right here. And I was going to do a close up, but things happened with the computer. It updated to Windows 10, and now our camera software is not working, so I can't do a close up zoom of this thing. But I was going to do I posted some comparison photos on the Tech Talk page. And I wanted to talk about some of the. You'll notice, by the way, I'm wearing the $43 one on my watch, right? I don't this one is back in the box, and I'm actually taking it back because the differences aren't enough for me to keep this one. There's one thing about it that I really like, which I'll try to show. It's not going to show up well on this camera, but it comes in some nice fancy packaging. Little box. Again, it's with the lights and the glare, it's very difficult for anybody to see. So it's a really nice stainless steel bracelet with a butterfly clasp. Apple say that it takes about 9 hours to machine each one of these things, and I can understand why, because unlike your standard watch bracelet that uses pins, you press in a pin and it, a link pops out. This has almost a push button quick release mechanism. On the back side here, there are 5 removable links on each side. Each one has a button that you press with your fingernail, and the thing comes apart. And each of these links are made up of probably it's got a hinge in it, a clasp, a locking mechanism, a spring, a push button. There's probably 10 parts in each one of these tiny little links. So I can see why it takes 9 hours to make one of these bracelets. But I mean, the workmanship and the quality is fantastic. Now, the fake one I got, which I actually have on my watch, from its outward appearance is identical to the Apple bracelet. The main difference is it does not have that push button release mechanism. This has the spring pins that you have to press in and pop out each link individually. Here's the thing. I like this. I like that push button mechanism. And I actually found on eBay, I found a band that has the push button mechanism also, and they're $60. So I ordered one of these. So actually both of these bracelets are going back. This is the one that's on. Yeah. Well, I mean, why not, right? Send this back. That was $43. Take this back to Apple. There's $500, and just get the knockoff that includes the quick release feature. The quick release feature normally wouldn't be useful to me because you adjust your watch band once and then wear the watch, right? You pop out your links, you size it to your wrist, and you wear it. Here's where it comes in useful for me. This is my Nomad pod charger for my watch. With the band on there, I can't get it to fit over the onto the dock. So that quick release feature would be really nice. I could just pop open one of those links, set it on the dock, and then put it back together and avoid having to take the entire band off just to charge the watch each time. So while it's not worth the $500 to have the original, I think it'll be worth the $60 to have the knockoff with that feature, simply because I have to charge the watch every day, and I've wanted a nice stainless steel bracelet for this watch. And $60 beats 500 because it was $489 or something with including tax. $60 beats 500 any day of the week, obviously.
Yeah, it does.
So there's that. I just got a message from Jacob saying hi. Hello, Jacob. How are you? Glad you're listening.
Hi, Jacob.
You said something about we're getting somebody calling in this evening. What's that about?
Mike is supposed to be calling.
Did he say why?
Because he likes me.
Yeah, he's just going to hit on you in a creepy way. You know that, right?
So?
All right, fair enough. If you're good with it, Mike will be good with it. I promise you that.
What's your problem? Why are you grumpy?
Me, I'm not grumpy.
I'm getting callers. Come on.
Well, we'll see if he calls in then. He might. But anyway, that was my link bracelet. So I'll take this back tomorrow, get that money back. I think I'll wait for the other one to show up before I send this back to. How long did Amazon give you to send shit back? Like for 30 days?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I usually know pretty quickly if I want to send it back.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure. And I know I'm going
to look?
send it back. It's just a matter of when.
Is that from Amazon?
Yeah, the $43 one was, yeah. Yeah, I'll send this one back to Amazon and I'll wait for the one from eBay to show up. All right, anyway, that was boring as hell, so let's move on to something else. Oh, here's a story out of Scotland. You know that place north of England?
Oh, yeah.
That little country above a real country?
Leper colony or something?
Yeah, something like that. I shouldn't say that. My family
I know that's mean.
or my father's side of the family are from Scotland. So obviously in England and Scotland, they have pretty strict gun registration laws, right? Gun licensing, registration, and outright bans of most guns whatsoever. You can get a shotgun license and get a shotgun for skeet shooting, and the farmers use it to protect their land and their animals, their livestock and whatnot. In Scotland, they've had the genius idea to add air guns to their firearms registry. Yeah, BB guns. Yeah, they are adding BB guns to their firearms registry. Now, the registration process is going to be the same as a real firearm. You are going to have to obviously register the weapon. You're going to have to pay for a license. Part of receiving a license is proving a need for the weapon. So now you're going to have to show a just and I guess viable reason for owning a BB gun in Scotland before you can have one. It will outlaw, you know how kids go out in the backyard and like plink around, shoot tin cans and whatnot?
Yeah.
That'll be illegal. That's going to be against the law. The places you'll be able to shoot them are at gun clubs if you're a member. So you're going to have a gun club membership for a fucking BB gun.
That's crazy.
For a BB gun. Now, I'm wondering when they're going to move on to paintball guns and airsoft guns. Because, I mean, that's the next logical step, right?
Yeah.
You outlaw actual guns, move on to air guns, then move on to airsoft and paintball guns, and then that's it. No more guns. You'll be great. Because, a fucking airsoft gun is lethal. That'll kill you quick. It's ridiculous. I don't know. It annoys me. And speaking of annoying government, do you see this nonsense in New Jersey? Let me pull up this story real quick.
I did not. You mentioned it. I had not heard about this.
Yeah. So, oh God, open. So this genius lawmaker in New Jersey has introduced legislation to outlaw texting while walking. All right. Her name is Patricia Lampett. And by the way, similar legislation has been proposed in Arkansas, Illinois, Nevada, and New York. So it's not just Jersey, but Jersey, I think, is the first to actually bring this to their legislature. A new law against distracted walking could see cell phone using pedestrians fined and even jailed. Is under consideration in New Jersey. You could spend the penalties are going to be the same as jaywalking. It's fines up to $50 or 15 days imprisonment or both for texting or using your phone while walking. Distracted walking, they're trying to call it. Can you believe this?
So like talking on the phone?
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, if they consider it a distraction, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Apparently there were between 2000 and 2011, there were 1,100 injuries in the U.S. that they attribute that were walking incidents involving mobile phones. Oh, God. So,
You know, I don't doubt that, though. People like looking down, texting or dialing or whatever and walking into people or out in traffic.
I don't doubt it either. It's 1,000 a year. Do we really need to legislate?
How many a year?
1,000 a year. There were 1,100 between 2000 and 2011.
I believe that is grossly underreported.
Oh, I don't know.
How often do you do dumb shit while using your phone?
I do dumb shit using my phone all the time, and
all the time.
Actually been I'm still alive, never been injured. I don't know that it should be legislated. It seems kind of stupid, really. It's I mean, what's next? Walking your dog will be outlawed because the dog could pull on a leash and back you into the road.
Yeah, no, I get your point. I understand. I'm just saying, I believe that people. I mean, I think that incidents of people being distracted by electronics and doing thing or being injured or whatever, I just think it's underreported. Like, I think that number is way too low.
It may be, and I have no problem with that. If you know you're texting and walk out into the middle of the road and get flattened by a bus, I don't have a problem with that.
But you don't just lay there and be dead. It costs money.
I mean, it maybe costs money.
Insurance pays for it. The people sue people. You've lived here long enough. You know how that works. Somebody's got to clean you up off the road.
Right. I mean, how much does a street sweeper cost? 10 minutes of its time. Slop your guts up into the back of its thing. Have the road washer come down and blow the rest of your innards down into the sewer system. I just don't have a problem with it.
I don't think it's that convenient.
I think it's kind of ridiculous. Let me see here. Jacob said, that's the dumbest shit I've heard all day. Okay.
Well, if the guru says so,
thing I've heard all year, to be honest. But airgun registration in Scotland and no texting or no using your phone while you're walking in the United States of America, land of the free. Now, it will become a First Amendment case, by the way. The first person with money that gets cited for this will take it to court and say, wait a second, you're inhibiting.
That's not expression.
What if you're expressing yourself while you're walking? What if you're working on your novel? What if you're posting to a news journal?
No.
And the government says, I'm sorry, you don't get to do that while you're walking.
Well, there are states where you can't talk on the phone while you're driving.
Okay, here's what I think this is, and this is my conspiracy theory. I think this is the first step to government control of the media. What they actually want to control is the dissemination of information. They want to be able to go up to private journalists or public journalists in public and tell them, you're breaking the law using your phone. If somebody, let's say somebody's filming the police or somebody's filming what could be a news story, and the government want to, the police hate being filmed, right? You see it all the time. You have to put that camera down. It's illegal to film us. I think this is step one to actually making it illegal to do that, so that to give the government some control, so that they can say, no, sorry, you don't get to publish that. Right now, I can be walking down the street and film something and publish it immediately. Within seconds, it can be up on the internet somewhere. I can send it to Fox News. I can put it up on YouTube, do whatever I want. The government hate that. They despise that. And you know they do. I see your face.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were rolling your eyes there for a minute.
No, I agree with that, but I think that
and look at the list of states with this legislation pending, and tell me Arkansas, Illinois, Nevada, and New York, in addition to New Jersey. Come on, these are awful places where all they want to do is suppress the people. All of these everyone I listed here is awful place. I'd never lived.
Stop that. No, they're not.
I know they're not. They
are not awful places. You're just looking for something to squawk about.
Yeah. Listen, they're okay. And I hope the people in these states open their eyes and look at the wider implications of a law like this. Because any police officer could argue, if this legislation was passed, any police officer could argue that anybody on the street pointing a camera at them is suddenly a distracted user and in need of arrest or citation or 15 days in jail. And that could be, that's the punishment for whatever, filming something the government deems you should not be filming. You think I'm maybe going a bit far, or do you think I'm on something?
I think you're maybe going a bit far. I think that in in Hermantown, Minnesota, there's not much problem with people wandering around, texting and talking on cell phones. But I think that in cities and in more populated areas, I think it really probably is a danger. Now, should there be laws about it? I don't know, but I think people are idiots and they don't govern themselves well.
But we got a break. We're going to talk about that when we get back.
All right.
I hate regulation.
I know you do.
Regulation of any kind, even if you can't fix stupidity, you certainly can't regulate stupidity out of society.
Right. I agree. But you see it. I know you see it. You see it all the time. People walking around with their heads down texting.
Of course I do, but they have that right. They're allowed to do it. It's a free country.
Only to the point where it infringes on the safety of other people. So walking into people, walking out into traffic, there is a point, but people don't have absolute right.
Shut up with your sense.
Speaking of stupidity, I have a new favorite show that I don't know, it's not too dumb for Keith. I wish Keith was here. It might be too dumb for you. A show called Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah. From
Rob and Big. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. My new favorite show. It's, he sort of MCs a show with video clips of people doing dumb stuff. Oh my God, dude, it is the funniest thing ever. Like, Kurt seriously comes in when I'm watching it. It's like, dude, stop. Like, you're just being too loud. You've got to cut it out.
As dumb as the stuff they do on Jackass?
Yes, he's not actually doing it. It's just videos of people doing that stuff. And then he and his co-hosts and guests make fun of it, which is what makes it even funnier.
So kind of like America's Funniest Home Videos, but probably a bit more hardcore.
Yes.
Okay.
And just funny.
Is Big Black on there?
No.
Damn.
No. It's a cute girl and a black guy are his co-hosts, and then they have guests every week. But oh my God, dude, if they have a cool guest on, it is like like you can't breathe. You're laughing so hard. It's so funny. Like when he has like BMXers or like skateboarders or guys that he's like skated with and stuff for years on.
Mhm.
Oh, just ridiculously funny.
Is Chanel on there?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Chanel
start.
West Coast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch then.
Yeah. Mostly all she does is laugh the whole time, but she has the cutest laugh.
Oh yeah, she has the cutest everything.
Yeah.
Follow her on Instagram. She gets like 50,000 likes per picture.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, there she is now. Oh, she posted a video. She's flat ironing her weaves. She has her hair extensions hanging up and she's flat ironing them.
She
That's
is
funny.
hysterical.
And it says, love my Cosmo Cube crown locks. It makes it easy to style my hair and keep it organized. Oh, God.
Only Chanel, dude. Only Chanel.
Style my hair and keep it organized. And it
Yeah.
literally hair extensions hanging up in this clear, almost glass cube, looking like they're ties. It looks like a bunch of ties hanging in a line.
Oh
And she's using a curling iron and a flat iron on them while they're in the box. That is amazing. Love that girl.
I just pulled it up. Hang on, I'm looking at the picture.
It's a video on Instagram if you
Oh, so funny. Yeah. She is hysterical. Did you hear that?
The Red Wings scored?
No, it was the 5 minutes to game times. Why not get yourself some buds?
Oh, who are they playing?
We played Buffalo last night. Winnipeg, maybe? And then Friday night, we have the Minnesota Wild at Detroit.
I watched the NCAA Northeast Regional Semifinal Lacrosse Championship the other day.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Actually, it was lacrosse is very entertaining.
We have Montreal tonight, not Winnipeg.
Real fun game to watch.
Yes. Lacrosse is fantastic.
And man, they beat the crap out of each other.
Yep. And they play in shorts.
Yeah, that was obviously why I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Basil World, but I'm not going to.
No?
No, there just wasn't enough new stuff.
Let me see what I have.
Omega introduced a new line of Planet Oceans. I mentioned that last week.
You mentioned it to me. I don't know if we talked about it on the air. Do you know anything about this whole wireless spectrum battle? Is that really anything?
There's an auction. Are you talking about the FCC auction?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. It was supposed to.
Go ahead.
The spectrum that's becoming available is supposed to start today, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to it because it is always without fail AT&T and Verizon that walk away with the spectrum.
Okay.
I know T-Mobile got a cash infusion from Deutsche Telekom.
Okay.
FCC auction. I know T-Mobile got a cash infusion from Deutsche Telekom to try and get in on the lower spectrum.
Okay.
I should say the lower frequency spectrum. But I think it was something ridiculous like $6 billion, and they're not going to win anything with that.
Oh my God.
AT&T is going to outbid them. AT&T and Verizon is just going to outbid them big time. Now, usually though, at least at the last auction, the FCC implemented let's say a kind of a rationing system where every carrier had to walk away with at least a certain amount of spectrum, and then the people with the money bought the rest of it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So I don't know what T-Mobile's going to get. I really hope they get some of the low frequency spectrum so that they can increase their building penetration. But
Right.
I don't I don't expect it to happen. The TV spectrum auction kicked off as well. Oh, that was today, TV spectrum. Okay, here's what they're doing.
I think that's what
So,
I'm talking about. The
uh,
TV.
well, they're linked together because
Yeah.
today they started selling off the television spectrum to free up bandwidth for
Wireless.
yeah. So it will be this first, and then the wireless auction will happen after.
Okay.
No, wait. I wonder if this is no. I know this would be it. Yeah, they're so
Yes, sell it to companies that offer wireless services. So it
yeah,
takes it from TV and
yeah.
sells it, and it's like that what they called like quote beachfront property on the spectrum. Like it's the good bandwidth.
It's the good low frequency stuff with deep penetration. Um,
Where's Keith when you say stuff like that? They must have a game tonight or something.
good old deep penetration. Want to buy some frequency? Opening prices. New York, new Spectrum in New York opened at $900 million. LA, 545 million. Glendive, Montana, 1.2 million. That's a bargain. Or at least that's where it
Wow.
opened.
Right. So I was reading about the T-Mobile data only stuff.
Yeah, let's talk. We'll be back on the air in a couple of minutes, so we can talk about that as well.
Well,
Go ahead.
before you talk about it, those are plans that they've always had. Do you know all this?
I mean, I know people have been asking for data only plans for a long time.
They've always had plans geared towards deaf and hard of hearing. So that's the plans like with no telephone that's the data only stuff. So I just realized I still have my boom mic on. Like it's always been there. They just didn't
That's why
advertise it. And I unplugged the wrong thing. Hang on. They just didn't advertise it. So
yeah, it still doesn't make any sense to me when you look at the pricing and then compare it to the plans that.
well, they start 2 gigs of data is $20 a month.
Which is fair enough. That one I kind of get.
There's a 14 gig for $65 a month.
Right. My unlimited 70.
Right.
Including voice.
Well, and if you don't
That's
need
what I don't get. And
right,
then they have a 22 gig plan for $95. And
right.
yet now mine's a grandfather plan, but even the current pricing I think is either $80 or $85 for unlimited everything, voice, text, and data.
Okay.
So that's why, $95 for 22 gigabytes, or you can pay 85 and get unlimited everything. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, and I wonder if is yours like this is prepaid? I don't know. I mean that might I don't know.
Yeah, mine's a postpaid account. Mine's post. Oh, here we go. We're going back on.
Okay.
We're back. Yes, we are. Hey, what were we talking about? We were just talking about a bunch of stuff during the break. You know what? We were talking about
You were ranting about the whole New Jersey walking while texting thing.
I thought I went over that while we were on the air.
Yeah, well, that's what we ended on.
Okay. Then we started talking about, you mentioned Rob Dyrdek's show, and we're not going to focus on that. You can tell people about that in a minute, but I started talking about Chanel West Coast, his co-host. Very, very pretty girl. I follow her on Instagram. That was going to lead me into Instagram and the changes they made. Have you read anything about this?
I have not.
All right. So Instagram are owned by Facebook. And it appeared now, I think everybody kind of jumped the gun yesterday, but it looks like Instagram are moving to a curated feed instead of a chronological, timeline. They're going to be moving to a feed very similar to your Facebook timeline, where it puts what it thinks you're going to be interested in, or, it'll throw you sponsored posts up at the top of your feed and shit like that. It's gonna, again, it will ruin Instagram just like it ruined Facebook, in my opinion. So yesterday, the rumor was it was going to start today. And I'm looking at my Instagram feed, and everything appears to still be in chronological order. One of the features you can do in Instagram is turn on post notifications so that when somebody posts a photograph, you get an alert, right? So all day yesterday, everybody was putting up these little pictures with arrows pointing to the top corner saying, turn me on, meaning turn on post notifications for my account. I didn't, because I could care less if anyone sees what I post. But apparently a lot of people want to be turned on. Now, obviously, the curated feed did not happen today. I expect that. Ooh, speaking of Instagram, there's a cute one. It didn't happen today. The curated feed, the regular feed's still there. So everybody, I don't know. I don't know how many people got their post notifications turned on yesterday. One thing Instagram did do today, though, one change that did go live, you can post videos to Instagram, and before today, they were limited to 15 seconds. And their videos work very similar to Snapchat, where you touch and hold the screen and it'll record a bit, you let go, and then you touch and hold the screen again, record a bit and let go. And it creates like a, I don't know, a montage video. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
Well, they've extended that now to 60-second videos. So now I'm going to see 60 seconds worth of shit showing up in my timeline each time. There's one account I follow. It's this, he's a vapor, calls himself Blake Vapes, and it's just satire. And he does these little 15-second joke videos. I imagine now he's going to start doing 60-second joke videos, at which point I unfollow him, because that is no longer funny. 15 seconds of some guy goofing off is good. 60 seconds of it, then
Yeah,
it turns
it's a
into
commitment.
then it turns into slapstick, and I hate slapstick. So
Yeah.
very good. So that was what Instagram did today. When the curated feed does go live, you'll know, because I will be complaining a lot. Obviously, that's what I do. Now, I do have post notifications turned on for some people, not because of yesterday, but because there are some things I just like to see when it goes live. But I won't be doing it for all of everybody. Yesterday it was oh god, I don't know, almost every account I follow put up something saying, turn me on, follow me. Yes, my stuff's really important and you have to see it the second it comes out. No, I don't. Shit, that was that. I'm slow today.
Yeah. Dragon.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get your whole workout in.
I know. I only got 15 minutes of workout in. Oh, speaking of which, got the elliptical. It's been working fantastic. I love it. Started a week ago Saturday. And I gained, I had gained a lot of weight since I stopped. I broke the rowing machine. I'd stopped running. So I wasn't doing any exercise. I was just eating and drinking like a fucking Scotsman.
You just did it again.
Irishman, whatever you want. Did what?
Made fun of Scotsmen. We were going to stop doing that.
Oh, no, I love it. The Scottish, when they drink, they're fantastic. They get all violent and belligerent. And
do they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Scotsman drinking? Hell yeah. So anyways, started working out. Love this thing. I've lost, in the last week, I've lost 9 pounds. Well, in the last 10 days, I've lost 9 pounds, which is fantastic, because I've also been dieting. I've been back to eating properly and exercising, and it's working really great. So in a month or two, I will be back to my usual size, which is a lot smaller than I am right now. So that'll be fun. So get an elliptical if you want to get some good exercise and get in shape, lose some weight. Then get an elliptical machine. They work fantastic. It's a great workout. I did 15 minutes today, and according to my Apple Watch and its workout app, which includes an elliptical option. When you open the workout app, you can choose like 30 different exercises, and then it monitors your heartbeat and the the little accelerometers and gyroscopes in the watch monitor your movement and stuff. And in 15 minutes, I burned 200 calories. So that's not bad. I mean,
That is
that's
not bad.
pretty damn good. That's 400 in half an hour. If I kept up that intensity, which is hard to do for 30 minutes. So that's that. Let's talk about the FBI. So you mentioned it to me today. Because there are reports now. Here's the one thing we know for a fact: the FBI has petitioned to drop its case against Apple. All right. Last week they asked for a stay for a couple of weeks, and Monday they petitioned the court to dismiss the case. Right?
Yes.
We know this for a fact. Now they say, I don't know who says this. I haven't even seen a report where the FBI said or confirmed this, but I've seen a number of reports claiming that the FBI have said they've gained access into the iPhone 5C, so they no longer need Apple to help them. By the way, I've seen no confirmation of that from the FBI. Have you?
No, I haven't. I was actually just now skimming to look and see if I could find the article where I saw, to see if I could see what the reference was, like what source they were claiming. Because once you said that, I was like, that's true. I don't know who they even said it.
Right. Now, I stand by what I said last week. The FBI realized that they made a mistake bringing this case over this phone. This phone is inconsequential to them. They know that there's nothing on this phone that is worth anything to them. The guy, the terrorist destroyed his own phone, set it on fire. She set hers on fire, destroyed them completely, melted them down into globs of plastic. He didn't destroy his work phone because there was nothing on it. Had there been anything on it, he would have destroyed it because it was in his possession, right? It's not like he forgot it and thought, oh, damn, I forgot to burn that. Oh, right. Well, best continue with my plans anyway. No, there was nothing on this thing. They know there wasn't. They got the iCloud data, which had a backup from October, I think was the last backup. And then, and they figure within the 2 months between October or whatever it was, the dates, I'm not entirely sure, but there was nothing on this phone, and the FBI knows it, and they know that they were going to be ruled against, and it was going to ruin their chances to fight Apple in the future. If they had a negative ruling or a prejudicial ruling against them, it would have taken anything off the table in the future in another case, and possibly in a case that actually mattered, right? In this case, the terrorist is dead. They know everything about it. They know there's nothing on the phone. So why force the issue and risk a ruling against you?
Here's an excerpt from the court filing that says the government has now successfully accessed the data stored on Farouk's iPhone and therefore no longer requires the assistance from Apple Inc., mandated by court's order compelling Apple Inc. to assist agents in search dated February 16th, 2016. Accordingly,
okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then they are claiming that they've gained access to the phone.
Yes.
I still don't believe that, by the way, but we'll take that as a given.
Right.
We'll assume they're not lying to us and that they've gained access to the phone. If I were Apple right now, to prevent anything like this happening in the future, I would not let this go. I would be pushing for discovery. And they will get it, by the way. I think the court and this, they won't do it in California. They'll go, you watch this week, I think they'll go to the court in New York and they will push for discovery from the FBI to show New York, this is how you get into the phone. You no longer need our help. So if the FBI did get into this phone, or if this third party, I think it was an Israeli firm, is that correct? That was
Yes.
working with, if
Yep.
they did get access to this phone, Apple should push to find out how, and they should enter it as evidence in their current case in New York and say that, look, if they can do it, you can do it. You don't need our help, and you can't compel us to do something we choose not. We believe will be a risk to everybody. I wouldn't let it go. Would you?
No, absolutely not. Sorry, I was reading. There is an updated statement from Apple, but it doesn't say anything. So
Yeah, it was that with this case should never have been brought statement.
blah blah blah. Yeah, I was reading to see if it said anything about really kind of what you were talking about. But no, I agree with you.
Apple made it clear, by the way, in that statement today, that they are going to continue to improve the security of their devices, and in an ongoing manner to protect their customers. And that's exactly what they need to do. And the government's just going to have to deal
Get
with
better.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have to deal with it. Now, there was a conference last week, and I don't recall what it was or who it was. I know that Edward Snowden was in on it.
Oh, Snowden.
I love Snowden, by the way. I love it.
know.
Anyway, here's one soundbite from that I took away, which was very interesting. Snowden said the NSA break encryption every day and twice on Sundays. And if they wanted into this phone, the NSA would have gotten into it. That concerns me. It concerns me that the NSA, that Snowden is saying the NSA can break 256-bit encryption at basically on a whim.
Snowden's a troublemaker. I'm not saying Snowden doesn't know what he's talking about, but Snowden is a pot stirrer.
Snowden is a damn American hero.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, I mean, we know who Snowden is because Snowden's a pot stirrer. So just because Snowden says it doesn't mean that it's true.
You're right. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Nor does it mean that it's false, but it doesn't mean that it's true. So,
yeah.
I mean, I would say that unless it's independently, not necessarily verifiable, but I mean, unless we have other reasons to believe it, you know.
Well, if the NSA do have a way, if they have come up with a way to crack 256-bit encryption like that, the way Snowden portrays it, then, which, you know, that's if they figured it out, they figured it out, right? And I don't trust the NSA. They've been spying on us for decades, apparently. But if they figured it out and they're able to do it, more power to them. Yeah, I'm still not one of these, well, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about, because I think that's bullshit. And, you know, everything you do, as innocuous as it seems in its individual parts, when brought together and used against you in court by a professional prosecutor, can lock you up for the rest of your life. So this, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to worry about stuff, is absolute crap, because again, these guys are professionals. They're very good at what they do. Their job is to build a case against you and lock you the hell up, and that's what they will do. And you know, the sum of all its parts, think about everything you probably not, because you're a nice person and you're kind of restrained online. Me, I got a big mouth online. And
well, I mean, I think if people think about things like, my boss was yapping about, you know, that same idea that if you've got nothing to hide, well, there is of course, we are realtors, and there is a government body that oversees us. They're called the Department of Commerce here in Minnesota. And I said, do you want Commerce to see every document that comes in and out of this office? And he said, shit, no. And I said, exactly. Are we doing anything wrong? No. Do we want Commerce to see everything that we do? No. Exact same thing. IRS. Do you want the IRS to see every transaction you do, every check that you write? No. Does it make you a criminal? No. But
exactly. Now, I hear people say, I also hear people say, well, you know, the ones complaining about it are obviously the guilty ones. Well, that's not true. I'm not guilty of any crime. I wouldn't be here because I go through background checks all the time for my carry permit and for my green card. And, at work for contracts, every time we do a contract for Georgia Power, we have to go through background checks and drug testing. I got a call coming in. Hold on.
Let's do it.
This is Tech Talk. Who's calling?
Good evening. This is Jeff. How you doing, Alex?
Hey, Jeff. How are you, sir? I'm good.
I'm doing well, doing well. Just got it on the line about 3 seconds ago listening to you.
Uh-huh.
And heard a comment and just wanted to make a statement on it. If
Sure.
you start nitpicking, you're gonna find something wrong in everything.
Yeah.
You start getting into the details and this and that and the other. I spanked my kid. Oh my God, it's child abuse then.
Exactly. Anything
Yeah.
you do, if you take the individual parts of your, let's say for example, we'll just say your social footprint, your digital footprint. If you take those individual parts and put them together, a professional prosecutor could lock up anybody in this country.
Exactly. It's insane.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have absolutely no doubt. And that's why it concerns me when I hear people say, if you have nothing to worry, if you have nothing to hide, you got nothing to worry about. Or when people say, the ones complaining about it most or must be the guilty ones. I happen to disagree. I think the ones complaining about it most are the people that value our civil rights and our civil liberties. And also they're the ones that understand the government is paid to lock us up. That is their job.
right, but then you got those people that are complaining about that so much about, oh my God, you got the NSA, you got the government prying into my personal life and blah, blah, blah. And they create such a vacuum for everything else. So, and then all of a sudden you got all these, you can't, all these laws coming out, you can't do this because it infringes on this person. And
I lost you there, Jeff. Your audio cut out. Yeah, we lost him. Hopefully he'll call back. But I think we need that vocal minority. I think we need, for example, people like the ACLU who file lawsuits, to protect people from instances of government intrusion or instances of government persecution. I think it's all right. Now, how do I get back to Jeff? You there?
yes, I am,
Hey.
sir. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I passed by the GBI headquarters on the way here. So.
They're listening in to you. But no, I was saying, I think we need those vocal proponents in society, like the ACLU, who will, and they'll go to bat for you and fight for everybody's rights.
No, I agree. I think it gets to the point though that you start nitpicking on who you're infringing on, and it just becomes such a major issue because that's why we have what we do today with, I can't do this because I'm offending this person. I can't do that because I'm offending that person. And it's from all these people that are vocalizing so loud about, you offended this guy because you went with this law.
Yeah.
And so now you get all your little sub laws. So, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22, actually. Either you're offending one person or you're not.
Yeah, no,
Either you're protecting one person or not.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I agree. I think we're we're a nation of sissies these days, and we get very easily offended and upset about things. But me personally, when it comes to civil rights and our privacy, I think that is a very important issue. And it outweighs, it outweighs, in my opinion. Another thing we were going to talk about was the Religious Freedom Act. My personal privacy and civil rights outweigh, any of the concerns in this Religious Freedom Act, in my opinion. But again, the Religious Freedom Act in Georgia has just been overturned by a vocal minority, which actually became quite a large, even though it was the minority, it became rather large. And but that's the beauty of the system we have. Everybody gets to have their voice heard, right?
Right.
But yeah, sometimes we take things Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes
But
I think things get taken too far. I think we can be overly sensitive about a lot of issues. I think it does stifle speech in a lot of cases. People are scared to say what they want to say or scared to say what they mean in a lot of cases.
and then you got those that aren't afraid to say it. So you got that line there that is like, where do you start a line and where do you stop a line?
I mean,
You're going to upset one. You're going to upset one person one way or another. So
yeah,
which ones do you upset and which ones don't you? And like, well, your personal privacy, I understand and I agree, is my privacy. But then you have these people that kind of say gangsters, thugs, ISIS, whatever you want, terrorists, that they present themselves that way. They do everything that a normal American would do just to fit in. And if the government isn't paying attention to it because of the Privacy Act, they won't catch a terroristic threat or plot.
well, I mean,
there's always a catch-22 behind all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think events of the last couple of weeks have shown that they're not going to catch the terrorist plots anyway, even when they do have unfettered access to information. The attackers in Belgium were on a terrorist watch list. They were supposed to have been monitored, and they slipped through the cracks because that's what they do, right? That's, again, if the government attack, and I will say attack, if they attack my privacy, they're only affecting me. Well, they're affecting everybody like me who we do have nothing to hide. We are innocent. They're never going to catch the terrorists because the terrorists know how to evade them. They know how to avoid being detected. They know how to communicate securely. And these are things the government are never going to catch up with because it evolves, one step after another. They're always one step ahead of the government. So the only people the government are really going to hurt are people like you and I. And they're going to open us up to security risks. And they're going to open us up to vulnerabilities. And maybe their intentions really are good. Maybe their intention is to try to keep us safe. I think it's a futile effort. I think it actually opens us up to more threats, say cybersecurity threats, than it protects us from, the random acts of terrorism that you purport to be trying to protect us from. So, I mean, it comes down. To me, it comes down to what's more important: my rights as an American, or their rights as terrorists. And I got to tell you, my rights are far more important than theirs. My right to protect my privacy and protect my information and to protect my finances and protect my identity from theft is a lot more important to me than, the government's right to, I think, use the straw man argument of protecting us from terrorism, when I think the NSA already proved it's not about terrorism. It's just about data collection and gathering as much information as they can on anybody so that they can use it against them in the future if the need arises. That's my opinion. It's maybe sounds a little bit conspiratorial, but that's where I come at it from, because I come from a nation where they put you in jail for things you say on Twitter.
No, I agree completely.
And I just don't want to see America go down that same path.
I agree, but I mean, how do you differentiate between the terrorist that's watching porn and a regular Joe American that's watching porn? They both look the same.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's where police work comes in. And this is what...
which is hence what the government is doing by monitoring our emails, all our data, all that. I mean,
well, see, here,
kind of the same, isn't it?
But that, again, this latest example in Brussels is just the latest example of how that's failed, where regular normal police work may have succeeded because one of the attackers in Belgium was living with a government informant. He was on a government watch list. He was supposed to be monitored. He was living in the same house as a government informant, and yet the government still missed him because nobody picked up the phone to make a phone call. Nobody went over to the place to check on him and see if he was there. Nobody was watching to see who he's associating with, right?
Right.
Every government now is so dependent on the collection of digital data or metadata that they're ignoring their actual job, which is to get out and do some police work. And all the evidence right now in Brussels is showing, had they done even a little actual police work, a little plot on the streets, they could have cut this off before it happened. But they're more focused now on collecting digital and information and metadata than actually doing good old-fashioned police work. So
old school.
I think there's a place for both. I'm not saying that the government should not have any access to any data. I think with if they have a warrant and they're able to get into a device or monitor somebody's email or monitor their phone calls or monitor their text messages, then fine. But it's not up to me to grant them access. It's not up to, say, Apple to grant them access. It's up to the government to gain access for themselves. Apparently, the NSA may have a way to do that. And if they do, fair play to them. And if that's the case, then maybe the NSA have to open up their doors to other government agencies and let them in on the secret.
I agree 100%. And it's like you said when we first started speaking, it's those that say, well, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to worry. And I'm the same way. I mean, I'm just a typical American. I go to work, make my living, support my family, try and do right by everybody else, try to be a good guy. I mean, if you were to go on my phone or my internet or my computer or whatever, I'm kind of intrigued by things at times. I mean, I sat there and looked up the Columbine people, looked up the Virginia snipers.
Right.
So I was actually in North Carolina when all that happened. They were moving their way down towards North Carolina. I mean, things like that. It's kind of intriguing trying to think of how people think and just the reasoning behind what they did. So if they were ever to look, they're going, oh my God, this guy is studying all these mass murderers.
Exactly.
Oh, he must be a mass murderer. So
exactly.
I agree on that. I agree on what you're saying is just how they perceive it.
Yeah. And any culmination of data can be used against you in court, and that's their job. And that's why I think it's your right to protect that data. That's, in my opinion, that's your personal information. It's your thoughts, effectively. And
but I mean, at the same time, I could be one of those mass murderers plotting, and how would they know unless they gathered that data? So it would be up to, in my opinion, training, education on the part of the government to be able to decipher and determine which one's which.
Sure.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you need to train your employees, your officials better in how to decipher what you're reading.
Absolutely. And it comes down to identifying a suspect. And that's how we used to work in this country. We used to have to identify a suspect and then obtain a warrant and then go after them. Now we just collect everybody's data and sift through it and try to put pieces together. And it's those putting together of pieces, I think, that create a false identity of a lot of people. There are, for example, let's talk about the no-fly list. It's estimated that 80% of the names on the no-fly list should not be on there. They're only on there because of bulk data collection and government computers putting together individual puzzle pieces and saying, oh, this guy might be a problem. We should put his name on the list and stop him flying. I do have a problem with that. Especially as there's no good, easy, quick way to get your name off of that list. Once you're on that list, you're viewed as a suspect for the rest of your life. And it's because computers are picking up individual pieces, one piece here, up in the ether, piecing them together and saying, oh, this person fits a profile. And that's scary.
It really is. I mean, You ever see the series Making a Murderer?
Yeah, I did.
And that was kind of the same thing because of the way he was as a younger person and some of his issues, and then being falsely accused and then acquitted of the one rape.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he was always perceived as.
That's right.
Even though he had been acquitted, that was the way everybody. I mean, mixed feelings on him. I think he is possible he did. I don't see it, but that's how everybody perceived it was because of the initial arrest on him.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
So it's just,
what is it they say? You bang one sheep and all of a sudden you're the sheep fucker.
exactly. And I think it's kind of crazy that, and not just America, I think humanity in general has gotten lazy. It's easier to hop on a computer. Let me do it this way. I don't have to get out of my seat. I don't have to move. I don't have to exert no energy. It's all right here in front of me. And that's not necessarily true. I think hard evidence, physical hard evidence is better than
right. I don't
all
know.
this IT.
I'm not sure. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. The FOIA court got implemented, and instead of having to get a warrant, now they just have to present one piece of evidence, and then they're given permission to use bulk data against somebody. It's or is it visa courts? I don't know what it's called, but the secret courts we have in this country now. Yeah, the days of actual police work and gathering evidence and presenting a case and getting a warrant, those days are long gone. Now it's all about bulk data collection, a computer putting together the pieces, spitting out a name and saying, you need to watch this guy and monitor everything he does. And that's scary. To me, that's scary. I don't think it should be happening, but it is happening. And if I have the option to lock down my phone and make it a little bit harder for that data to get out for anybody, by the way, not just the government, but also for identity thieves and hackers and, anybody with bad intent. If I can make it a little bit harder for anybody to get my information, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Exactly. They'll always find a way.
Unfortunately, they will.
You need to earn it. I'm not going to give it up that easy.
Yep.
If you really want it, you're going to earn it.
I agree.
Same way I earn my pay and everything else, you're going to earn yours.
Yep. I agree.
I agree.
And apparently the government have broken into this phone now, so maybe they have a way. Not sure if it'll carry over to these newer phones with the Touch ID sensors, but we'll see. Jeff, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate your opinions.
You're quite welcome, Alex. You have a great evening.
Thanks, sir. We blasted through a break, so I'm going to run to one now.
All right. Take care.
Good night, Jeff. Yeah, we did. We went flying through a break. So what I'm going to do is jump to one now, and we'll be back in a few. Yeah, we went about 15 minutes over a break there, Dan. That's okay.
Hey, but we started the show on time.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
Bollocks to the whole rest of it, but we started on time.
Yeah, see, I can't even sit here with a fair open mind and say, well, there's a balance, right? There's a balance between data collection and privacy. I don't believe there's even a balance. My privacy trumps any other thing, any other issue. My privacy trumps that. Your privacy trumps that. If the government or anybody, whoever's investigating anything, if they do actual police work, obtain actual evidence, get a warrant, and then gain access to that information themselves, fine, so be it, put a case together and go after whoever it is you're after. But when it's bulk data collection and computers using algorithms to put pieces together to spit out a name and say, go get a warrant for this guy, I have a real problem with that. That's not justice.
You don't think there's any validity to that?
Have they maybe caught a handful of people through bulk data collection? Maybe. If they have, I wish they would publish the damn numbers so that at least we could say, well, maybe it's been worth it. They haven't. They won't even do that. The NSA didn't even acknowledge bulk data collection until Edward Snowden outed them. And they haven't said anything about it to this day, really. And they're not going to. They're the NSA. You know, it's national security. It's still, they still have to have secrets. You know, and it was supposed to have been curtailed, and the Congress passed some laws to cut it back or stop it, I think. But it hasn't stopped, and it's not going to stop. And I guess I'm not going to say it should stop. What I will say is, as a American, a private citizen, I have the right to protect my data. I have a right to protect it from anybody, be that the government or any other prying eyes. I have the right to protect that. Anything I choose to make public, that's my choice. And you know, if it so happens that one day those pieces are put together and a case is built against me for something, I don't know, whatever it is, that they could come up with anything, right? They could take all these pieces, put them together, and say, oh, you know, this guy's I don't know, a dissident, or, well, we're not in China, so maybe not a dissident, but you know, they could come up with any charges they want and make them stick because it's their job and they're good at it. And this is my problem with the whole situation. They are good at their job. They don't need to do what they're doing to make a case stick. They don't have to build a back door into encryption to build a case against somebody and make it stick. They've been doing it for 200 years, right? And they've been very successful at making a case and making it stick without weakening my private security. I don't know. I don't believe there's a line to be drawn. I don't believe there's a balance that can be made. My privacy is my privacy. Simple as that. I guess some people may consider that extreme. I don't. I consider that, you know, my civil right.
Well, and I think once you lose your right to privacy, once that, you know, once the line is drawn, like once it starts to slide, where does it stop, I guess, is your point.
Exactly. And
once they start gaining access to some of your information, how do you then stop what they can get access to?
Exactly. And that's why I don't like this. Well, if you have nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear line of bullshit, basically. Because if we do become accepting of it, if we allow one step, then where does it stop? You know, I have a problem even with extracting data off of this phone. And one of the reasons I think Apple should push this is to find out how the data was extracted and was any of that data manipulated? Did any of it change? Do you see what I'm saying? Because who's to say that this company in Israel, who's to say they don't have bad actors in their company who injected data into the stream as it's being extracted from the phone? Right?
Yeah.
You know, let's say, I don't know, it's Israel. Let's say they inject some terrorist information about a cell in Palestine who actually wasn't on the phone, but they decided, oh, we could get America to strike these people and destroy them by injecting this data into this device and providing it to the FBI to show a link between the San Bernardino terrorist and these guys in the West Bank. I want to know how they got the data off of this phone. I want to know how they unlocked it. I want to know under what conditions the data was extracted. And I want to be absolutely certain that at no point in the chain of custody, somebody was able to inject additional data into the stream to implicate somebody else.
Right. That's kind of horrifying.
Right. So, I don't know. It concerns me. Mike sent me a message and said you're frozen on the screen, but you're not. You're working on my screen. Maybe it's just YouTube.
No, YouTube's moving.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it up real quick and take a look.
I have
But
it on.
yeah, you're coming through fine here. It might just be Mike. You may have to refresh the stream. Let me check it on my end and see. Tech Talk. Here we go. Oh, I don't even see you.
Because I'm not talking.
No, I don't even see your little square window down in the corner.
It only comes on when there's two of us.
There is two of us.
No, two of us in the Hangout. Sorry. If
Oh,
it's only me and you, we
yeah,
only switch back
yeah.
and forth. When
Okay.
Keith is here, that's why the whole issue with the phone number. Remember when the issue with the phone? Our phone number is not on, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm not using the app that does the lower third because it's
gotcha.
again an issue with this computer updated to Windows 10.
Right, got it.
And Scott couldn't find the license key.
Okay,
This
but yeah,
is
so that's why that
not
only came up after a while.
Hold
It
on.
wasn't.
Hold on. All right, we're back. Sorry, Danny. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying because the little inserts only appear when there's two people in the Hangouts, is what you're saying.
Correct. Two or
Okay.
more of us. So when it's only me, that little square isn't down there, so it wouldn't block out our phone number.
Gotcha.
But then when Keith started hanging out with us, it started blocking out our phone number. So that's what I know about that.
Got it.
Don't know why Mike's not calling.
He texted. He says it's working. You're working now, so he's happy again. He's probably gone back to jacking it.
Okay, good. Hi, Mikey.
Oh, that did it.
I have to wave and talk at the same time. I forget that.
Now you're just going to get him all excited.
He's supposed to be calling.
That last subject would have been a good one for him to call in on. I'm sure he has opinions on it.
Yeah,
all right, let's talk about this Religious Freedom Act here. You know what? Let's talk
yeah.
about what can we talk about? I'll talk about it. My boss asked me if I was going to talk about it tonight, so I guess I will. And I have mixed opinions about this, the Religious Freedom Act, or what is it? They've relabeled it the anti-LGBT or LGBTQFZ bill, whatever it is. I don't know what freaking pronouns we're using for gays these days. There's too many of them. I mean, gay is gay, right? Surely, but now that everybody wants their own label. What is it? LGBT, LBGT,
LGBTQ
So lesbian, it's lesbian, gay, bi, trans. What is Q?
And then either queer or questioning, depending on the person.
Okay, questioning. I don't get it. Do you? Okay, I have nothing against gays, nothing at all. Got a lot of friends that are gay, and I have no problem with it whatsoever. I support gay marriage. I think if you want to ruin your lives, go ahead and do it. Okay, now we have issues. Mike, you're calling on the wrong phone. Hold on. Hey, hold on a second, Dan. Hey, Mike.
Okay.
Call in the studio phone. Okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry, nothing against it whatsoever. But Danny, do you agree with me that it's binary?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why?
That you're either gay or you're not?
No, you're either male or female. This
No.
questioning thing. You're either male or female. Or you're sexual. You are a binary sex.
No.
All right, here's Mike.
Okay.
Hey, thank you for calling Tech Talk.
Oh, now it's me on the other line.
Okay, now it's you on the other line. Hold on, I'm going to turn your volume up a little bit because it's kind of low. What's up, Michael?
Okay. Well, I couldn't get on because Jeff had called on. And then I was sitting there looking at it and I go, wait a minute, I'm not even sure what number to call yet. So.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And I'm not using the Manicam app because Scott can't find his activation code and the computer updated, so the number's not on the screen. What's going on?
Hi, Mikey.
Well, my drone came. Hey, Danny. My drone came back today, so I'm a happy guy.
All fixed?
All fixed.
What it cost you?
An arm and a leg,
Of
so
course.
I have to hop. Yeah, I got to hop up and down to get anywhere. So, yeah, apparently there was adverse weather in Salt Lake City, so the package has been lost for like a week.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yep, I just got an update today, and it said being delivered today. I was like, finally.
Yeah, it's been what, 3 weeks?
Yeah. Yep. It's ridiculous, but it's back. She's happy. She's back home. And of course it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I got to rebind it to my controller. So,
Well, and you remember the fight that was the first time.
yeah, I got it figured out now. So.
That's good. Were you listening to what we were talking about, privacy and data collection and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was, and you know, tomorrow night that's what we're going to be talking about is freedoms versus your freedom. You know, freedom versus your freedoms.
Right.
And of course, we're in a different kind of format than you. We just really take shots and don't really, you know.
Yeah.
But well, the thing about it is, and I think it's been used. The cliche's been used a million times. Is where does this go? I mean, you got a guy like me who I eat, drink, and sleep the human intel part, spying on people, and that's how we catch bad guys. But then I'm intelligent enough to understand that, hey, do I want them listening to this phone call right now?
Right.
My point is I've lived overseas, and, you know, we protected ourselves against the bad guys doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So my take on it is if you don't share secrets over unsecure lines. The internet is, if you're going to give out your account numbers on your internet profile and stuff like that, I mean, you're going to get hit. I mean,
precisely. And and that's the thing, the people they're going after, they don't make stupid mistakes like that. Well, maybe they do every now and then, but they know how to protect themselves. They know how to keep secure. They know how to communicate securely, and they use things that I would never even dream of using, because they're using technology specifically designed to protect them, to cover their footprint.
Right.
And this bulk metadata collection does nothing to find that or trap that or.
It's. I was in West Germany in the mid '80s, and my job was I used to give these reactive armor briefings about the new T-80 tank. And I used to have to lock this briefcase inside of an aviation catalog briefcase and handcuff it to my arm.
Right.
Under armed guard, get in a Mercedes and drive through Checkpoint Charlie to go to Berlin, because the 4th Brigade had their intel department about 6 floors underground in Berlin. And I used to always think that was so stupid, because I was hiding it from the Soviets. I was giving the briefing on the Soviet armor.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying is, are we really just safeguarding our stuff that we already know about? I mean, really, there's so many levels of stuff at national. You know, there's 7 levels above top secret, I think, is what Barry Smallwood was talking about that one time.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is guys like you, me, and adorable co-hosts like Danny, there's absolutely, I just don't think that we're privy to those type of levels of information.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've no idea. I mean, nobody knows what the NSA is doing or what their capabilities are, or, nobody has a clue. My point is, if I have the ability to protect certain data. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of data I throw out there into the ether. right? Stuff on Facebook,
Yeah.
stuff on Twitter, stuff on Instagram.
Sure.
That's all public, and it's available for anybody to see and anybody to use. And like I said, a good prosecutor could take all those individual parts, build them into some kind of case, and lock me up. I'm absolutely certain it's their job, and they do it very well. But there's some things I choose to protect. For example, my financial information. That's mine.
Right.
It's personal. It's private. I don't want anybody getting access to that. And if the government force Apple to weaken my security, it not only weakens it for the government, it weakens it for any other bad actors out there that choose to target me.
Now, I mean, since we're talking about this, and you know a hell of a lot more about Apple than I do, I just find it hard to believe. I mean, when I was working in the pawn shops, you know, people would bring in tablets, and you know, we had a way to crack it because people would always leave their account hooked up to the cloud, and
right.
You know, we could hold our finger this way and close one eye and, you know, say 6 ohms to the freaking rain gods, and we could reset these things.
Right.
I mean, seriously, is it that encrypted that the FBI couldn't find somebody on this entire spinning planet that could have just cracked that phone and it not made it to freaking headline news?
I'm sure they could, and apparently they have. This company in Israel apparently have broken into the phone and extracted the data. Again, that's one of my concerns. I want to know how they did it, what the chain of evidence was. Was there a time or an ability for anybody to inject data into that stream and add to it? Because, you know, I used the analogy. Well, it's not even an analogy. They're an Israeli company. Let's say they injected some data about the Palestinians because they wanted somehow to link this guy in San Bernardino with, you know, people in the West Bank, and they say, wow, this is a perfect opportunity to get the Americans to go bomb somebody for us, right? So I want to know what that chain of custody is. I want to know how the data was extracted. I never will. They're going to keep this secret, obviously, but I think Apple should be pushing for that. I think Apple to protect themselves even should demand access to how this vulnerability was found, how it was enacted, what opportunities were there to corrupt the data or, you know, inject new data, and you know, but basically be able to say to us, yeah, you're safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then here you are, you see what we're talking about? We're talking about an individual's personal financial information all the way up to national security, because once that bridge is broken, ain't nobody crossing, right?
That's right.
So, yeah. So, it's a big deal. I can understand that. I just, for some reason, I really feel like, and I always have done this, is that here you've got the NSA trying to figure out what these two knuckleheads in San Bernardino did. I mean, right now these people are both dead, and when you have to have the national security is digging all the way down to two people that, you know, that operated in California, I think there's a big misconnect, because I was under the impression the NSA should be working on stuff like, is North Korea about to launch a nuclear missile? You know,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's where I get kind of, it's like there's a piece or two of the puzzle missing. You know, somebody made chili and there's no chili in it.
Well, I agree. I think this was a test case for the FBI, and they found a way to get out of it without being ruled against by the courts. And they'll save it for the next time when, you know, I readily admit that there may be a case that comes up where it becomes absolutely critical for them to break into somebody's phone. And, you know, maybe then I'll reevaluate my position on it, but it appears that they can do it without forcing Apple to, to compromise everybody's security. And for me, that's the key.
Yeah, I just don't feel that if there's something at NSA level that it's actually being put out on somebody's iPhone. I mean, There's so many other ways. I mean, come on, these people planned the 9/11 for like 3+ years that we know of.
Right.
And we still were caught with our shorts down.
Exactly.
They've obviously got a better chain of communication than what we're giving them credit for. And it wasn't done on iPhones.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah, I mean there are hundreds of apps out there in the dark web, as they call it, for these cells to communicate with each other that the government will never have access to unless they actually do some police work and infiltrate it.
Exactly. And I think you guys had brought that up. At some point, somebody is going to have to do some police work.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what it's all going to boil down to.
It really is silly, but it seems like there's a breakdown where the rubber meets the road because of stuff like Ferguson and anything else like that. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, this whole breaking into somebody's phone, the government would have did it. We wouldn't have known anything about it. But now, I mean, you've got this one cop defending himself, and it makes world news. I mean, I got friends in the deep, dark Middle East asking me questions about Ferguson.
Right.
And it's like, holy smokes, are you guys kidding? You know, seriously? And they're like, yeah, do you guys just shoot people in the streets? And I'm like, oh, well, that's funny coming from y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
no
yeah. So I agree on that. Hey, real quick, let me just jump over to the governor vetoing that bill.
Oh, did he veto it? Did he veto it today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it was yesterday, actually.
I thought it was yesterday.
On Easter. Yeah.
Okay.
So he here's the thing, and I'm just saying my point real quick, and I'll let you get back on with your show, is that if there's two things at work here. One, sure, we have our freedom of sexual orientation. We have our freedom of religion, speech, all these things. But I think that you have to go back to, if you're Mormon and I'm Christian, okay, so what? If you're gay or lesbian or transgender or whatever, and I'm straight, so what? Now, I understand that you've got some places that are saying, I'm not going to serve you dinner, or I'm not going to make you a cupcake or whatever because you're gay. I wouldn't, in the long run, even if I did take it all the way to the Supreme Court of the Galactic Empire, I really still wouldn't want you to make my cupcake, because you see what I'm getting at?
Exactly. And this is my whole point. I'm of two minds about this law, because first of all, I think that the Constitution protects us. The Constitution provides the protection that this law was looking to provide for some reason. Our religious liberties are protected, as are your civil rights. And and I'm a big proponent of the free market. And if, let's say, I owned a bar and I put up a sign that said no gays in my bar is not going to last very long. My bar is going to fail. It's going to go under, and the free market will guarantee that. It will take care of that by itself.
Sure. Look how many restaurants, and I know you and I both lived overseas, but look how many restaurants in the United States about 5, maybe 10 years ago decided not to allow children.
Yeah, after a certain time, right?
Yeah, after like 8 or something, no children under the age of 12 or something like that.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Perfect coin of phrase. The free market took care of itself.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Hey,
I mean, if I were, if I was gay and I was getting married, and me and my husband went to a baker, and the baker said, "I'm sorry, my religion won't allow me to do this." Me personally, I would say, you know what? That's your belief, and we'll go somewhere else. That's what I would say.
Why would you keep at it and keep at it? Because end result is, I guess you got some money out of it or whatever, but if they did make the cake for you, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's gonna taste exceptionally close to snot.
Yeah. They'll accidentally put salt in it instead of sugar. But but this is where I'm of two minds, right? I would say, all right, no big deal, I'll go somewhere else. But we have a lot of very vocal activists that will not accept okay, I'll go somewhere else. Their MO in this debate was to force acceptance, in my opinion. And you can't force acceptance. You can.
What if
you
they
can,
were saying, no, I won't bake you a cake because you're black?
the same.
It's
to me,
discrimination.
I
They're
know
a protected class, and
You're
it's
right.
discrimination.
You're absolutely right. And again, I know the law exists that you're not allowed to discriminate, and I still believe the free market will take care of that. In this day and age, maybe not back in the 1950s or in Alabama or whatever, but in this day and age, in 21st century America, the free market is going to take care of that.
But why should people have to accept that kind of treatment and wait for the free fucking market to take care of it?
I'm not saying anybody has to accept it. I mean, and obviously people.
But in order for the free market to step back and let the free market take care of it, they have to be treated like second-class citizens. Because they don't get their fucking cake.
Again, we're not in 1950s, rural Alabama. We're in 21st century America.
I shouldn't have to make the cake.
We're in 21st century America with Facebook and Yelp and
black, white, Chinese, gay, lesbian, alien from another planet. If I don't want to make the fucking cake, I'm not.
Then you shouldn't be in the business. Then you shouldn't be in the business that you're in, baking cakes.
Whatever happened to, you used to go, everywhere you used to go had a sign, we reserve the right to refuse service.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't really have the right to refuse service.
Listen, if somebody, I'm not going to refuse service to somebody based on their religion or race or gender. I'm not going to do it. But if somebody does, if somebody is of that mind and they say, no, I'm sorry, I refuse to serve you, it would take approximately 24 hours for that place to get shut down.
You don't have the right to refuse service based on protected classes. There are things that people are protected from being discriminated against based on. What'd you say?
I think she's the sexiest co-host out there, but you know what? I'm getting off the phone.
Bye.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Bye, honey. Thanks for calling.
But let me ask you this. When you have two protected statuses, right? When you have, let's say you have your gender protected status and you have your religious protected status, aren't we creating a situation where we're raising one above the other when one of those protected statuses is specifically protected by the First Amendment? So where is that balance? Where do we say your religious beliefs are less important from a legal perspective? Your religious beliefs are less important than the gender choices of your customer. Now, I'm just being devil's advocate here, because I know nobody has the right to discriminate. And I know that applies to, a lot of things. It applies to, everything these days. If I want to use the ladies' room, I'm not supposed to be discriminated against, as long as I say
Except I think it's Virginia. No, North Carolina. Is it Virginia or North Carolina?
Yeah, that's right. I think they did pass bathroom rules. But that was in schools, right? That was only
it's like statewide. There are God, what do they call them? There are people like patrol people that patrol the bathrooms to make sure that those laws aren't violent. I think it's North Carolina.
But here's my question.
Yes.
In a nation where your right to believe and practice any specific religion, which I don't, by the way, I'm agnostic. Right. I don't believe in God. In a country where that is specifically protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution, should that right be overruled by somebody's right to, I don't know,
explain to me how we're talking about violating somebody's religious beliefs.
We'll use the baker, for example.
Okay.
Right? Their religion prohibited, their argument was because of their religious belief, they couldn't bake a cake for a gay couple who were looking to get married. Right. Now, we'll ignore the fact that this couple were activists and they were looking for a target.
Right. And it's their interpretation. Like,
And we'll assume it was just,
I think that.
But then the government said their right to a cake is more important than your right to practice your religion.
It's not their right to a cake. It's their right to live without being discriminated against. It has nothing to do with the cake. It has to do with them being treated as second-class citizens.
So if your religious beliefs infringe upon any other beliefs, you are no longer entitled to those religious beliefs.
I wouldn't say any other beliefs.
And that's what the law here intended to address. And now I agree the law got out of control when it was originally.
It was intended to discriminate. It was intended to allow discrimination against.
Well, when it was originally written, it was written to protect the religious beliefs of private business owners in everyday commerce. Then it got expanded to cover pretty much everybody for any reason they chose, even outside of religious belief. So I'm glad the governor vetoed it. But in its original form, if we just take it in its original form, where it was designed to protect a private business owner from being put out of business by some radical extremists, because that's what it would be, by the way. The people bringing these lawsuits are the radical extremists. They're not your everyday American Joe or well, Bob and Joe in this case, I guess. They're not your average everyday citizen looking to go, do business with somebody. These are radical extremists who are trying to force their views.
The people that you were just talking about 30 minutes ago, by the way, the ACLU and those guys that are fighting the good fight, that now are radical extremists, because it's the same thing. They're the ones that are fighting the fight so that the Bob and Joe can walk around and live their lives like everyday citizens, because that's who they are.
I agree, and they should continue to fight the fight. Again, like I said, I'm split on this issue, right? I actually don't come down on it one way or the other, but again, I'm of the opinion I don't really give a shit. If you don't want to do business with me, I won't do business with you. What is it Clark Howard said? You vote with your wallet, right? And in this day and age, people will vote with their wallet. It doesn't require a couple of gay activists with a ton of outside money backing them to hurt people these days. To me, they're doing what everybody in this country does. They're pushing an agenda. I'm a member of the NRA. I'm a member of the NRA because we push an agenda. They're members of whatever they are because they want to push their agenda. People are members of a church because they're trying to push their agenda. And now we're getting to the point where the loudest voice seems to win. The governor started to capitulate when the NFL jumped in and said, "Oh, we may not bring the Super Bowl to you." And then Disney, I don't know what.
Because you're discriminating against people. That's exactly what happened.
But this is the thing. It's gone from protecting somebody's religious freedom, and it's been flipped on its head to discriminating against people. I can see it from both sides. I can see it from the side of the Catholic whatever cake maker who is now being forced into a position where they may have to do business with some people that violate their religious beliefs, right? Which for some reason in their mind,
they're baking a cake. We're not asking them to attend the wedding. We're not asking them to provide counsel. They're baking a cake,
which they may view as an endorsement of gay marriage, which goes against their religious beliefs, which could end up.
So you don't think that's a stretch at all? You don't think that's a stretch at all? That baking a cake
from the
violation of their religious beliefs. You don't think that's them just soapboxing, just trying to take a stand?
If I'm trying to put myself in the mind of a, I don't know, religious nut job, then no, it's not a stretch. But then also, if I try to put myself in the mind of a gay couple who all they want to do is get married, I don't find it a stretch either.
All they wanted, I believe, and I'm not a gay couple. I'm not a member of a gay couple. But I believe that all they want to do is I mean, and maybe they want to fight for the rights of other gay couples to live like any other. I don't even want to say normal because that's normative.
Listen,
But
I'll bet you 90% of gay couples in the state of Georgia could give two shits about this bill one way or the other, just like I could care less about it one way or the other. And it's the extremists on either side that care.
I doubt it. I don't think that's true. I think that had that bill passed, a lot of gay people would have cared about it. And I think they do care about it because it's saying that they're less than.
I'll bet if that bill had passed, there would have been maybe one or two instances of what somebody could claim as discrimination per year.
But it's on the books. It's on the books that they are less than.
No, it's not. It's on the books that your religious freedom matters. This is the thing. The bill isn't a discrimination bill. It's a religious freedom bill. I know it's been flipped on its head by the extremists on one side to be an anti-gay or anti-LGBT.
To protect the rights of the extremists on the other side. Who think that it's a violation of their rights not to have to bake a fucking cake.
Right. And nobody can even sit there and accept the possibility that, no, it's to protect the religious rights of a private business owner. I don't know.
So what if it was a black person that they were refusing to bake a cake for?
Again, if that's your choice, then do it. You're not going to stay in business for long. You're not going to. In this day and age, your doors will be closed by the end of the day. Because
I don't think that's true, because I think other ignorant religious radicals would go and buy their fucking cakes there.
Right. But this is the problem. The way the bill started, it was to protect based on religious beliefs. It got expanded to everything. And that's why the bill had to be vetoed. Because it did expand way beyond protecting somebody's religious freedom. And it went into areas, for example, the right to refuse service to somebody based on their color, and that is not really a protected, your right to practice your religion is protected by the Constitution. Your right to be a racist is not protected by the Constitution. But now what we've said is, well, even your right to practice your religion isn't really protected by the Constitution if it infringes on what somebody else believes. So now, by the way, somebody else's beliefs that are not specifically protected by the Constitution.
Well, we know that your right to practice your religion isn't protected when it infringes upon somebody else's rights to practice or not practice. There's no prayer in public schools.
Gender identity isn't a religion. It's not infringing on somebody's, right to identify as whatever gender they choose to identify as. There's nothing infringing there. I don't know. I mean, I again, don't really care. I think the Constitution protects everything we need protected right now. And the courts are clearing up any other issues like gay marriage. The courts are taking care of. And which, that caused a lot of problems on the state level as well. The Supreme Court stepping in and ruling on that, a lot of people had a problem with. I don't. Again, if you want to ruin your lives by getting married, go ahead and ruin your lives. That's entirely up to you. My suggestion, stay single, keep your finances separate, and be ready for that clean split. Dating advice, life advice from Al. No, like I said, I'm glad he vetoed it. I think it got to the point where it needed to be vetoed, but I don't think we should live in a country where I don't agree with regulation of any kind. I think the free market will take care of any problems that come up. In this day and age, it'll take care of it very quickly. And if you're a racist and you don't want to serve somebody, trust me, you're not going to do very well in business, especially, in an inner city, for example. Word gets around pretty quick. And chances are your shit's just going to get burned down anyway. I don't know. Still, we didn't accomplish anything, right? The bill got vetoed and everything's the same as it was before, and still people are going to complain. And I don't know. I see where you're coming from. I still don't get this whole, gender identity thing. I don't get it. It doesn't compute with me. I know it's a thing. I know that a man is able, it can identify as a woman, and every 100% in her mind, body, and soul, she is now a woman. I don't get it because my brain doesn't work that way.
Sorry,
just,
I'm nodding. I forget that people can't see that I'm nodding.
right.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I know that you don't get it, and I know that you and I don't agree
I
on.
accept it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I understand that if somebody, let's say I identify somebody as a man, but they identify themselves as a woman, I understand that they are a woman.
Right.
I get that. I can't. Now my friend Briley can explain it to you, everything on a chemical level, about how she is a woman, right? Chemically, she is a woman. But I can't relate to it because I'm not wired that way. I'm old fashioned, I guess. I don't know, but at least I accept it. I'm open minded enough to accept it.
Yes, that is true.
Caitlyn Jenner. I say she.
Good job.
Which annoys a lot of people, by the way. I don't know why it annoys them, but it does.
Because I think people want to hate that whole situation.
Yeah, well, again, because they're like me, they don't understand it.
Right.
Right. I mean, again, I'm open-minded enough, and I understand it enough to know that it's actually real, and it's not just some guy playing make-believe with some fake boobies. Right. I know it's a guy or a woman now who is a woman, identifies as a woman. Everything about her is female, except some of the parts she was born with.
Well, and I think it's actually kind of unfortunate that for so many people, that's their first exposure to transgender, because it's somebody that they've known as being male, and now they are known of as being male, and now they know of her as being female.
Right.
Because it is so challenging to wrap your brain around, where if you just see somebody that is a transgender person, and it's like, oh yeah, that used to be a man. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's easier to wrap your brain around that than, oh, that used to be Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't fit in a category. So people reject it.
The times they are changing, and as science is catching up, I think obviously the latest generation of little human beings is going to be more understanding of it, and get it more than my generation, for example.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that kids growing up now are I think some kids, way more kids growing up now, are gender fluid than ever before, and it's because it's talked about and it's known of. And I think a lot of people, not necessarily a lot of people, but people in the past have been gender fluid and trans and those things, and just didn't survive it. Like, the rates of suicide among those populations is just astronomical.
Well, yeah, so, and and maybe not even to that extreme, but they hit it.
No, it's the rates of suicide are astronomical. I mean, I'm not making that up. Like,
no,
they're
off the charts. But I imagine. No, I don't doubt that for a second.
Yes, I agree.
There's even magnitudes more that hit it.
Yes, or didn't understand it, didn't know why they didn't feel right.
Society didn't acknowledge it or accept it, or in most cases actually demonized it.
Right.
They lived their life. They lived a lie. Now, we're obviously, I think this latest generation of human beings, of little people, they're being born into a society where it is everyday normal.
Right.
And hopefully we'll see those rates of suicide drop off completely.
Right. I mean, and that's why I think
which is why the bill doesn't mean shit to me, because it only matters today. In 10 years, no one's going to care. In 10 years, a bill like this would never come up. It's holdouts who are dying off right?
Right.
As they die off, and change takes time. And I know everybody wants things to change immediately, but they never do. It takes time, and it may take a generation or two for this to become the social norm, right? Or gender normative, or whatever the hell it is
Right.
called.
Right.
Again, I don't even know the pronouns. That's how much of a Neanderthal I am on this. I don't even know what today's accepted pronouns are for gender. There's thousands of them, from what I understand. Well, maybe not thousands, but there's quite a few initials.
Well, I mean, and I think it
there's
depends
at least
on
26.
yeah. Yeah, and I think now the kids growing up are seeing, if not positive, at least not negative role models,
Right.
and not Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner. But YouTube personalities and people who are trans and gender fluid and those things. So they are growing up with it. So
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. It probably doesn't matter to them at all what a fucking cake baker in Nowheresville, Georgia will or won't bake.
Right.
I get it. I mean, I get your point. It just fucking pisses me off that.
I mean, I could walk into a baker and they'll say, no, we don't like English.
Right.
All right, fair enough, because we fought you. we had a war with you. Why am I going to bake you a fucking
We
cake?
beat you. Bake your own fucking cake.
Exactly. And I'd say, all right, we'll go to the next baker. One that doesn't really give a shit about stuff like that. Anyway, let's take a break and then we'll come back for our last segment.
Move on to something real.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. My opinions on this have morphed over probably the last 5 years, right? Because I just don't get it.
Right.
I've never understood, because I am a man. Everything about me is a man. I identify as a man, and in my mind, a man is a man, right? And over the last 5 years, having conversations with people and talking to people who understand a lot more about it than I do, and actually, people who are actual scientists and have studied things like this, it's made me think about it a lot more. And while I still don't get it, right, and while I don't, I can't say, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand. I don't get it at that base level.
Right.
I understand it from a intellectual and scientific level to a point, obviously. And at least I can say, if a person identifies as a specific gender, then they are that gender.
Right.
So I feel like I've evolved.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah, and this whole religion thing, again, I'm not, don't want to argue. I'm not for or against. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. And I do wonder, I actually do wonder which rights are going to end up trumping the other. In this case, I think it's moot because society has moved on from it, right? I think there are more non-religious people in this world now, or at least in America, I should say. I think there are more non-religious people than there are religious people. So I think this is a moot point, and it's going to die its death, and everybody will be able to move on and be happy. I don't know what that was.
That was the Red Wings scoring a goal.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Goal.
So yeah, and I think the governor did have to veto it because the bill got out of hand. It got way out of hand. But I don't know, the way it started out with one protection, you cannot be sued for practicing your religion. I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But that's me. Live and let live. You don't want to serve me because your religion prohibits it? Fine. I'll go somewhere where they can serve me.
Right.
And I guarantee you there's only a handful of businesses that it would have ever been an issue. Maybe Chick-fil-A. Aren't the what are their names? The cat.
They took a stand Oh man, what was it? They took a stand on something and then backed down.
Mm-hmm.
Caffey is the name, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A people.
it was True Cafe, and it's the Cafe family now, I guess. Yeah, and you know, if a business like that, you know, whose founder and owners hold very, very strong religious beliefs, if they can change, if you know, if they can move with society, and they still don't open on Sundays, by the way.
Right.
But if they can, and I don't see anybody complaining about that, that'll be the next thing. Somebody's going to bitch that Chick-fil-A, maybe it'll be me because I like a bit of Chick-fil-A. Maybe I'll sue them for not being open on Sundays.
Yeah, I drove by a Chick-fil-A Sunday evening actually on my way back from the Dakota.
We're 22nd.
I was sad that I couldn't get a nice chicken sandwich.
Yeah, we should sue. Let's start a lawsuit. Force them
They
into
have a lot of money.
I mean, apparently you can force them into doing anything you choose, so we may as well make them open on Sunday.
Well, it has to cost enough that it makes a difference.
True. All right, here we go. All right, we're back. It's going to be our last segment as it's 9 o'clock. I let my freaking thing turned off. What have we got? What stories did you have, Danielle? Anything?
We have various and sundry things. We were, huh?
Talk about T-Mobile.
That
was one of the stories you had, right?
That was something we were going to talk about. Well,
Yeah.
kind of. You kind of pooped all over it, though.
No, I haven't pooped over it. Oh, God.
What?
Merely having an opinion is not...
Well, your opinion was, well, it's shit.
It wasn't. My opinion was, I don't get it. But, you know, go ahead. Tell everybody what's going on.
I was trying to, like, feed you stories to talk about. I didn't really want to talk about it. T-Mobile, well, it's not nearly as interesting as I thought it was going to be, actually, as I read more about it. T-Mobile, I thought there was a leak about T-Mobile coming out with a plan that was text, like data only for text and the like, with no phone minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I read, so I thought that was a leak. So I thought, you know, we were learning something that was going to come out later. But the more I read about it, I discovered that T-Mobile had always had that plan, that it was a plan geared towards people who were deaf and hard of hearing, because, you know, they don't need phone minutes.
Okay.
But
okay.
Go ahead.
So we'll get to the part where I shit all over it, which I did. Listen, I know that people have wanted a data only plan, right? Because people use VoIP for voice. They can use Skype, they can use FaceTime, nowadays you can use Facebook Messenger over data and you don't need phone minutes. Okay. So I get it that some people want a data only plan. Here's what I don't get is the pricing. That's what I don't get, because there were a number of tiers. One of them was $20 for a 2 gig plan, which is fine. I mean, it sounds all well and good, but if you're making all your phone calls over VoIP, then you're going to blast through that 2 gigs pretty quick. But the highest end was $95 for 22 gigabytes. So you're paying $95 to send texts and use 22 gigabytes of data. I pay $70 for unlimited voice, unlimited text, and unlimited data. And I use more than 22 gigabytes every single month for $70. Now mine's grandfathered in, and I believe now it costs $80 or $85 for the same thing, unlimited everything. So on this data only plan, you're paying $10 more for less data and no voice. That's what I don't get. That's why it doesn't make any sense, because T-Mobile have better, cheaper plans. You may not take advantage of phone calls, but it's still cheaper for you to get the plan that includes unlimited calls, data, and text than a limited plan for $95 with no calling whatsoever. That's what I don't get. It's not that I think it's I think the pricing is stupid. Now, if they had that 22 gigabyte plan for $50, sure, great idea, but it's not. Do you see my point?
I do see your point.
It shouldn't cost you more for less.
To have less stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the point I was trying to make. And maybe some people will buy this plan and they'll buy it without researching the other plans. But anybody that goes to T-Mobile's website and looks at all their plan availability are going to say, wait a second.
That plan is shit.
Yeah, plan is shit. Exactly.
Well, and what I read was that this plan isn't, they don't advertise it much. They don't advertise it at all because it's, for geared towards folks who are deaf and hard of hearing. So,
Sure.
We were also going to talk about Google Photos. Did you go back to Google Photos? You've probably been too busy, haven't you?
It is currently uploading from my desktop. So I am uploading to Google Photos. It may be done by now. I don't know. I haven't checked on it for a while.
So, did we actually talk about this last week? I know we were teasing it, but, so there are updates. There are things it does better now. It lets you put new photos. Like you used to make an album and then that was just done. Well, now you can put new photos into old albums. It's added maps and location pins, which would have been fun for me when I went to the Dakota over the weekend. Except it was a Dakota, so who cares? You can put text captions in your pictures. You can allow others to add photos to your Google Photos. And they just today there's an update coming out that will add the ability to undo edits.
Oh, really?
So if you edit something and just bollocks it all up, you can unbollocks it. Yes. So those are Google Photos updates.
Yeah. So I'm checking now. In fact, I'm using my app of the week to check. I'll tell you about this in a second.
Okay.
It looks like some failed to back up. So I'm going to view them now. Oh no. Try again. Let me try again and see if they go. So I use iCloud Photos, right? And iCloud Photos has the full version of the photo on my desktop, and then it stores a version in the cloud, a smaller version in the cloud, and then on my phone it stores an even smaller version just to save space. However, on my phone, if I click on that photo, it downloads the full thing so I can work on it. Then it backs it back up, and then after a period of days, it just replaces it with the small version again, right? So here's my concern now with trying to use Google Photos at the same time. I'm uploading right now from my desktop. When I load Google Photos to my phone, it's going to try uploading again from my phone. Did they score again?
Yes, and now we're winning because we were tied at 2. Sorry.
Okay. So here's what I think is going to happen. And I hope it doesn't because I'm going to be screwed. But I think on my phone, it's going to download the full versions of everything I already have in iCloud, then upload them again to Google Photos, and then I'm wondering how iCloud is going to deal with this and whether it's actually going to remove the full-size versions from my phone again to save space and replace them with the miniature versions. So I don't know what's going to happen. This is a big experiment for me right now, and I'm taking one for the team, and it's possible that it's all going to get screwed up, but we shall see. So right now I'm using I'm looking at my go ahead.
They'll be in Google Photos, right? So you'll at least have everything there.
Only in Google Photos I chose the unlimited free storage version,
so they're compressed.
Only stores an optimized version in the cloud. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. But what I'm doing right now is looking at my desktop at home from my laptop here, from my iPad, I should say.
Okay.
I was using a program called iTeleport, which was a VNC. It was a screen share, not
Okay.
VNC, a remote desktop application. So I could control I can look at, I'm viewing my desktop on my iPad. iTeleport kind of got a bit buggy and slow and doggy. So I started looking for a new app to use, and I found one Saturday called Screens. Um, and it's the same thing. It runs a service on your desktop, which allows you to connect to it from anywhere in the world from your iPad or your iPhone and control your computer. But man, this thing is 10 times faster than iTeleport was.
Really?
Yeah. Now it was, and it wasn't bad. When I bought iTeleport, it was $40, and this was only 20. It was 19.99 on the iTunes store. So I think it was a good deal. And it's way faster, and that's why I'm using right now to check on my iPhoto backup, or I should say Google Photos backup. But yeah, I'm getting failed. It looks like one photo, or at least a file.
Is glitching you?
It may just be one photograph is refusing to back up, but it appears to have backed up all my photos and videos now. So step 2 will be loading it on my iPhone and seeing what happens. That's not going to be good. I foresee disaster.
You think?
We'll see. Maybe it'll work. I don't know.
I can't believe I completely forgot to tell you this. So Thursday, before I left for the Dakota,
Yeah.
I had to work in the office from 8:30 to 1, which means just sitting there waiting for the phone to ring.
Okay.
Well, I had been thinking in the shower that morning, my phone has just been acting a little glitchy and just not behaving itself.
Mhm.
So I was thinking I needed to do a factory reset on it and just start from scratch. So what better day to do that than the day you're going to leave for a 4-day road trip by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
So I did. So
Oh.
I got my old phone, which is a Note 3, and copied everything over from my current phone onto my old phone and wiped my phone and then copied everything back onto my current phone. Did the old reset. I know how you love those.
Well,
You know you love a good reset.
well, yeah, but I really should wipe my phone completely and start from scratch, right?
Mhm.
Rather than restoring a backup.
Mhm.
But these days it takes so long to do that because I have so much stuff on my phone. So I always just wipe the phone, then restore from a backup, which does clear up a lot of space and free up a lot of, potentially get rid of some glitches, but it also has the potential to introduce new glitches.
Right, and to reload if you've got an app that's running wonky to put it back. Well, what mine was doing was my battery was dying in just a ridiculously fast amount of time.
Yeah.
So my thought was that maybe something had tried to update and just not done a good job of it, and something was just acting sketch. So it fixed itself. Now I didn't reload, it copied all my apps back on, but you have to actually load them and put in your password and stuff. And I don't have nearly as much crap running as I normally would.
Mhm.
So it is definitely a much cleaner version of itself than it used to be. And it's doing well. And that was really my concern, is that I would be out running about in the Dakota and my phone would be dying.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
did not happen.
I like the way Google handles backup and restore, to be honest with you, because whenever I got a new Android phone, I would log into my Google account and it would start downloading the apps that I had before. It doesn't restore any data at that point. It just downloads the applications, right? And I wish the iPhone would do that. If the iPhone would do that, I would wipe my phone completely. If I could just log back into my account and it says, these are all the apps you had installed, we can restore them, but without any data.
Oh, right.
I would say, yes, do that, because the only ones I need data for, that data is already stored in the cloud, right? All I have to do is then log into that app and it repopulates its data. So if I could do that, just log into my account, it downloads all my apps, puts them back in the place they were, but gets rid of leaves off any potentially bad data that was acting up. That
Right.
would be ideal. And that's what Google does. And I like the way they do that. And all you do on Google is sign into your Google account. And it says, oh, do you want to restore your applications? And I'm assuming it did that for you.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And then you can then from that point selectively restore any data, any additional data that you want to. Yeah, I wish the iPhone would. With the iPhone, it's all or nothing. You back it up and restore that full backup, or nothing at all.
Yeah.
I say it's not really nothing at all. I could just restore my contacts and calendar and stuff like that. But I would have to basically go back to the App Store and try to remember all of my apps and which positions they were in and how I had them set up and stuff like that. It's just a pain in the ass. I should do it, and people say do it once a year, but I haven't done a fresh install since 2007. I've been restoring from backups since 2007.
Wait, are you talking about you should wipe it all the way and then just like download stuff? Like,
Start from scratch.
wow.
Yep. But it's too time consuming a process. I just can't be arsed to do it. So I take my chances with upgrading from backups. Like your friend the other day when you called to say how to get data off of one iPhone to another. That's how I do it. I back it to the cloud and then restore it from the cloud. And it's worked up until now. Again, I guess I get little bugs here and there, but if anything went dramatically wrong, then obviously I would have to start from scratch.
Well, and the Apple store isn't nearly as wild west as the stuff you can download on Android phones. You know?
That's very true.
I mean, Android will let you, I mean, you can put anything on an Android device.
Yeah, the curation on the iTunes, the App Store is maybe a bit stricter, we'll say, a bit more stringent. We'll see. But that's what a lot of people love about Android, though, is just that open platform where they can do whatever the hell they want. The problem with that, it leaves you vulnerable to, nefarious
all kinds of bugs,
malware and spyware and all kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
But that's the price you pay for being able to do whatever it is you want to do, I guess.
Right.
I bought a game. I bought a game called it's Sniper something or other. It's Hitman Sniper. Thank you. It's the Hitman franchise on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Agent something or other. I don't know if you've ever seen it. They made a movie of it. Bald guy with a barcode on the back of his head. Ringing any bells?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Hitman Sniper game has been on iOS for a while, and it went on sale for 99 cents, so I bought the game. I've been playing that the last couple of days. It's fun. Well, when I get a chance, anyway, 5 minutes here and there. It's all right. It's a bit monotonous because it appears to be the same map every time, and all it is you effectively up in the mountains looking at 3 buildings and shooting people, and then you have to shoot things in certain orders and solve puzzles. So you're solving puzzles by shooting stuff.
Oh,
my kind of game. I think you can solve any problem in the world by shooting stuff.
That's kind of true, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing that. That was fun. So Screens and Hitman Sniper is what I got hold of this week to mess around with and test. And of course, Google Photos. I'll have to report back on that next week.
Nice. Kurt pre-ordered the virtual reality setup for his Nintendo 64 he's playing. It'll come out in October.
For the PS4, you mean?
I don't know, whichever one he's on. I don't know.
Yeah, it is the PS4.
Okay.
Now, is he going to order the new console?
He ordered the whole deal, the whole package, whatever all the stuff is.
Okay, well, find out if you would whether that included the brand new console, because they're releasing an updated version of the PS4 with a lot more processing power specifically for this VR setup. Now, the older ones will work, but they're going to be taxed more, right? They're going to be stressed more. So
Is that pre-orderable? He just pre-ordered it the other day.
I don't know. I'm curious. That's why I'm asking. Because I found out about the new console, and I'm just wondering if they're bundling it together.
Yeah, he told me some stuff today. He said they just came out with another one that's like just the headset and not the other stuff.
Yep.
That he ordered.
I don't know.
I think it's like $4.99 is what he ordered. So I'm guessing that does not include the console.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Then tell him about the new console, because he may not know about it. Tell him there's a new one coming out with a lot more processing power, and he's going to want it.
Right. Well, I'm sure he'll get the.
Maybe you'll get a new handbag out of the deal.
Well, my Metallica purse should be here on Thursday with matching wallet.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, unbelievable.
That's what happens.
Hey, you mentioned Nintendo. Did you see they're releasing their very first phone application?
No. Yeah, I did see that. Yes, I did.
And it's not a game. They're releasing a messenger application.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. Again, another one of these things I just don't get, because there are thousands of messaging applications, but there are a certain few that people have latched onto, right? WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat.
Yeah.
And of course, iMessage. So I'm not sure what Nintendo is looking to get out of this, because I don't think very many people are gonna download it. But apparently all the emoji and emoticons are based on Nintendo game characters. So maybe that will have a draw for some people.
Oh yeah, people will do that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, like, you had like when you send an emoticon, like when I send you an emoticon, do you see it the way that I send it, or the way that your phone interprets it?
I have absolutely no idea, because I think it's going to be the way my phone interprets it in its set of emoji. It's just right. You're sending an ASCII code, and my phone matches it up with an ASCII image that's on my phone, the emoji. And I know that they differ from Android to iPhones. The code itself is the same, but the emoji are designed differently, right?
Right. And I think some of them don't translate. Because
this will be, bear in mind, this will be Nintendo's standalone application, and the emoji will be built in. So I imagine they'll be identical across platforms.
Okay.
Like the thumbs up in Messenger is the same thumbs up whether you're on iOS or Android. The thumbs up looks exactly the same.
So you'll have to be in the Nintendo Messenger to message back and forth.
Yes.
Gotcha. So it's not like sending an SMS.
Yeah. So while the rest of the world are in Facebook Messenger, a couple of sad Dungeons and Dragons twats will be in the Nintendo app, throw in fucking
fireballs at each other.
Whatever. Fucking
rolling dice.
Marios. They'll be shooting each other Marios, going, yeah, remember this? And the little fucking dragon thing that Mario had. What was that? Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. So Kurt says, I said, what all's included? And he said, controllers, game, and camera.
Okay. So ask him if he's going to order the new console, the updated twice power PlayStation 4. That's what I want to know. Because if he does, that means he's going to have a PS4 up for grabs. Do you see where I'm headed?
I do see where you're headed.
Okay, here we go. Let me go back to my notes here because we have a few minutes. Let's see what I got.
We talked about the Spectrum thing, right? The wireless Spectrum battle.
Yes. Oh, here's one. So iOS 9.3 came out last Tuesday, I think. And apparently, I mentioned it last week. There's a bug in it for older, or at least I posted on Facebook there was a bug in it that prevented older devices from updating successfully and activating. So if you had I think iPad or iPhone older than say an iPad Air, an iPad 2 or an iPad Air 2, one of the two, you may want to hold off on updating because you could get bitten by this bug and have an unusable device until Apple released a fix. Well, they have released the fix, and they have supposedly released a new version of iOS 9.3. So if you have a iOS device that's in purgatory, go ahead and reset it and let it go through the update process again, and you should be all set.
Kurt says the new console is still kind of a rumor.
Oh, is it? Shit.
I don't know, that's what he says.
Oh, new season of Archer came to Netflix today.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I'm going to be doing for, well, I'll be playing a little bit Sniper and watching some Archer on Netflix.
Nice.
I love Archer. It's hilarious. Oh, we didn't speak about Tay, the racist. The
Dang
racist
it. I kept meaning to remind you.
Damn it. All right, we got a few minutes. We're going to do it real quick.
Do it.
Well, actually, we don't. We got like 2 minutes. We got enough time to wrap this up. We'll save it. I'll save it for next week.
It won't be interesting anymore next week.
It's still funny. I mean, that story is funny no matter when you tell it.
All right, I'll read up on it too, so I can actually sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I think that's about it. Oh, there was this smartphone, this gun that looks like a smartphone. Have you seen this?
No.
It's some company in Minnesota. They have I don't know if they've released this or if it's a proof of concept or no, it's an actual thing. It's a double-barreled .380 caliber pistol that folds up and looks like an iPhone 4 when it's folded up, and it even has a belt clip. You can clip it to your belt, and it looks just like an iPhone or a phone strapped to your belt. Even comes with one of those belt clip cases like the OtterBox Defenders come with.
Oh my god!
Even comes with one of those, so you can clip it on, and then it folds open to reveal a trigger and a grip. And yeah, it's a gun that looks just like a cell phone. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea. I haven't given it enough thought. I would not use this as a gun personally. It looks like something that will blow up in your hand.
Right.
If you ask me.
You don't want anything exploding in that part of your body.
Yeah, it's designed to look exactly like a cell phone and was created by a startup in Minnesota. Care 11 in Minnesota. Crazy. Crazy. You know what I don't like about it?
What?
It's not a Glock.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, it just, I mean, I guess I understand the whole point of, it's easy to conceal and whatnot. I think people are up in arms about it. Oh my God, it looks like a cell phone. Well, if somebody's going to carry a gun illegally, they're going to carry a gun illegally. I don't care if it looks like a cell phone or not. And if anybody has a concealed weapons permit and they choose to carry this, then they are, they're legally entitled to. So I think all the whinging by the liberals is a little bit unnecessary, because it's just as easy for a criminal to stick a full-size pistol in the back of their pants as it is to clip this to their belt. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't use it. It looks crap, to be honest. Plus the added time to unfold it and get it ready just so you can use it in self-defense, waste of time. I'll stick to carrying my Glocks. I just thought it was interesting, and it looks, swear to God, it looks just like a cell phone when it's folded up. It's weird. A cell phone with 2 holes in the top where bullets come out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what would have made this funny? What would, as it stands right now, it's just a novelty firearm that I would never carry. What would have made this a very funny story is if they would have put a touch screen on it and made it into an actual working phone, and then sit there and think about all the idiots that put it up to their head every
I was just thinking about that. Somebody goes to answer it and shoots themselves.
Yeah, think about the dumbasses that would actually use it as a phone, put it up to their head, and they're trying to adjust the fucking volume, and they end up shooting themselves. This could have been a funny story, but turns out it's just for people.
Just lame. It's just a lame attempt at a gun.
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yep. Oh well. All right.
Minnesota for the lose.
Yeah. Maybe they'll come up with something more enticing next time, and I say, "Ooh, gotta have one of those."
Maybe.
I don't want a gun that I have to unfold in order to bring into action, but that's me.
Right.
Call me crazy. I want a gun I can just, pull out and go to work. But oh well. That's it. Let's call it a night. Actually it's 9:30, so we're gonna have to call it a night. Everybody, thank you for listening. You can catch Danielle on Facebook, Tech Danielle. You can find her on Twitter, Tech Danielle. And you know where to find me. I'm not going over it again because it's spelled differently. Fucking Instagram. Sent that guy a message again this week, by the way, trying to get him to. I don't think he's ever logged into his account. So screw that guy.
So we should just bomb the account he never uses.
Yeah, I should try to hack it. Is what I should do.
That's what you should do.
Call this company in Israel, see if they can hack it for me.
I'm sure they're not busy. Just do it.
Then I'll take his username. I'll give him mine. I'll just take. All I want to do is change his username to my username, and then I'll change mine to his. He wouldn't even notice a difference. He's never logged into his account. He wouldn't even know.
So did you actually make contact with him?
No, all I can do is send messages to his Instagram.
Okay. So he never actually told you to fuck off.
Oh no.
Okay.
Never heard a word from him.
Gotcha.
My messages are probably just sitting there unread from years and years ago.
Right, because he probably lost his password the day after he set it up.
That's right. Set up his user, took my screen name,
Yep.
set up a password, forgot what it was, doesn't have a password manager,
and then set up another one. He's got another Instagram he uses every day.
He probably does.
Yep.
And he's probably cussing me out for having Xander Mac.
Yep. Yes.
Or the other Xander Mac. Yeah.
Yep.
That's happening. All right. Anyway, everyone, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Mike is on tomorrow, World According to Mike. And I guess they'll be talking about security and privacy and things like that as well. So listen in. Mike, obviously, he's going to have different opinions to me and different to Danielle as well, I imagine.
Yep.
We'll be back next week, same time, 7 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be more, maybe I'll have more energy next week. I was a bit slow this week, and I apologize for that. Danny, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It was a blast.
All right. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
All right. We're done on the radio. Yeah, I've been swamped this last week at work. I've just been covered up. It's been a bit of a draggy week. That's all. For some reason, I'm very low energy today.
Is the pollen getting to you?
No, I don't. That stuff doesn't affect me.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, it annoys me that it's on my car, but that's all.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Danny, I'm going to run.
All right.
Thank
Love you.
very much. Appreciate it. Love you, girl. Bye.
Bye.
And good night, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up and a like or something and share us. I don't know. Let's try to get some people watching this rubbish. Bye.